Something easy. The world's current oil reserves. They keep finding more and more oil. It doesn't take as long as they think it does. They used to think that all the oil and coal and stuff was produced. It's kind of odd. Bacteria could not eat living things for like 300 or 400 million years. So the earth was literally covered in trees, and the trees would die and fall over, and nothing could decompose them. So they think years and years of pressure is what created all the coal and oil that we have. But they're discovering this is still an ongoing process because we keep finding more oil where there shouldn't necessarily be oil. So we don't know everything. Anyway, suppose the world's current oil reserves are 1,880 billion barrels. I think a barrel is 55 gallons off the top of my head. If on average the total reserve is decreasing by 16 billion barrels of oil each year, answer the following, give a linear function. This one's pretty simple. There's your slope. It's negative 16. And revenue is in billions of barrels of oil, so you don't have to have all these stinking zeros. The reserves are negative 16 T, because that's the variable, plus 1880. 15 years from now, which is extrapolating. It's not interpolation, it's extrapolation, and it's usually wrong. What will the current oil reserves be? Well, they should be a negative 16 times a 15 plus 1880, 1,640 billion barrels of oil. I'm not sure when this book was written, probably 2003, 2004. If no other oil is deposited into the reserve, the world's oil reserves will be completely depleted approximately how many years from now? So you just take your little equation, you set her equal to 0, you do the math, right? You get 117.5 years. Not true. It's not true. We're choosing between two different cell phone plans. The first plan charges at a rate of 24 cents per minute. The second plan charges a monthly fee of $44.95 plus 9 cents per minute. How many minutes would you have to use in a month in order for the second plan to be preferable? Round up to the nearest whole minute. You are in algebra. You're supposed to write equations. Now, plan 1 is literally 0.24x. Plan 2 is 44.95 plus 0.09x. And then you set the two things equal to each other. If you subtract 9 from 24, I guess you've got 15. And your generation doesn't talk a whole lot. In fact, this question doesn't make sense to your generation because it doesn't even talk about data. 300 minutes. At 300 minutes, you switch over to the 44.95 plan. Your favorite stuff. Find the area of a triangle bounded by the line 5 minus 4/5 x and the line perpendicular that passes through the origin. So this is for me, so I can see what's happening. That's at 5. This is 5 minus 4/5 of x. I'm also bounded by a perpendicular segment that passes through the origin, and she would be 5/4 of x. Reciprocal slopes, okay? And yeah, I think I will do this as was suggested in class because it's a heck of a lot easier. I don't know why I didn't do it that way, because I didn't see it. Anyways, I need to know this x value. So 5 minus 4/5 of x must be equal to 5/4 of x. Just kind of shift your x's on over. And I am out of it. So here we go. 5/4 plus 4/5. Back as a frac. 41/20 of x, same thing we had in class. is 5. Take 5, divide it by that guy. 141st. X is 141st. And in class, I had you find both pairs, but the reality is that's all you need. You have a triangle whose base is 5 and whose height is 141st. 41. Yeah, 41st. So 1/2 5 times 100 over 41 is your answer. Oh, was that 250 over 41? Whatever she is. Nobody cares. Oh, this thing just don't stop, does it? Lunch bell ring and everything. So I tried to make this one easier. You're going from JBLM to Area 51. It's 20 south and 200 east. Her ordered pair would be 200 negative 20. And her equation would be negative 20 over 200, which is negative 1/10 of x. And Mount Rainier is 40 east and 50 south, so it's down somewhere over here. 40 east, 50 south. It's a 40 negative 50. And you want to know the perpendicular path. All right, you need to know where the perpendicular path intersects. So this guy's equation is going to be kind of funky. It is. Its slope is going to be negative 5/4, and you're just going to use point slope. Sorry, its slope is 10. Perpendicular slope is 10 because the original line was negative 1/10. So you're going to think y minus a negative 50 equals 10 times x minus 40 plus plus. Anyways, you get this equation 10 times x minus 40 plus 50. I didn't clean up the one I did in class because we just used the intersect feature, but this one's not bad. That's 10x minus 400 plus 50, so minus 350. Now, I need to know the coordinates right here. All right? So on paper, what I do is I'd set them equal to each other. Whatever. I'm not going to waste that kind of time. The bell rang. I want to get out of this room. Plus, I have so much stuff to grade. There's y1. There's y2. Sorry, can't see. Zoom 6. There's my window. I'm going to go out. Area 51 is apparently 200 kilometers east. Mount Rainier is 50 south, so y min of negative 60. That ought to be sufficient. There's my intersection. Second trace 5. Enter, enter, enter. It's the only one I see. And there we go. The ordered pair is 34.653465, negative 3.465347. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those little numbers, because I've done distance formulas several hundred times in my life. I probably missed a decimal there, but it's close enough. I'm going to square them. I'm going to ignore their signs. And I'm going to take the square root. There's my distance. My distance is 34.8262968 kilometers. So my time is that thing sitting over 800. 0.0435 hours. Multiplier by 60. This one, because I made it up, is about 2.61 minutes. Oh, we got a piecewise graph, because you got to have piecewise graphs. You graph piecewise functions by making tables. Let's see, we have an input of x. We can take anything less than or equal to -2. And the output is always 5. So down left 2, up 5, solid dot, -3, 5, -4, 5, and so forth for all of eternity. Next table of interest has an input of x and output of -2x plus 1. She accepts anything between -2 and +1. She doesn't actually accept -2, but we're going to feed it anyways. So if I plug in a -2, I think I get 5. If I plug in a 1, I think I get -1. So back to up 5, open, and then 1, -1, closed. And then I'm 1 if x is bigger than 1. I'm not going to make a table for that. Ta-da! Wish this would end. Still 2 more. Write an equation for a line perpendicular to y equals 3x minus 1. Your perpendicular slope is -1/3. And you get to use point slope form. Y minus -7 equals -1/3 of x minus 6. Y plus 7 is -1/3 x plus 2. And y is -1/3 of x minus 5. I hope that's right. Use algebra to find the point at which the line g sub x equals -7/5 x minus 21/10 intersects the line k of x. And I do want to see your work. I want to see it. So -7/5 of x minus 21/10 is equal to -3/2 x minus 43/20. Now I'm just going to 20 everything. That'll be -28x minus 42, -30x minus 43. Almost done. Because I want reduced fractions. X is over here, y is over there. I should have 2x is -1, so x is -1/2. And if I have x, I get y by plugging it in. They both appear to be about the same difficulty. I'm going to do that one because the denominators will match. So y is -7/5 of a -1/2 minus 21/10. -7 times -1 is 7. 5 times 2 is 10. This becomes 7/10 minus 21/10, which becomes -14/10, which reduces down to -7/5. God, that's fun stuff. 15. If f of x is a linear function and f of -3 is -1 and f of 5 is 0, find an equation for f of x. Remember, this is x. That's your input. And that's y, your output. So you have this ordered pair -3, -1, and you also have the other ordered pair 5, 0. Your slope here is going to be -1/8. And I'm going to throw away that point. Y minus 0 equals -1/8 of x minus 5. Y equals -1/8 x plus 5/8. And I am done. Thank God I can go to lunch now. Not that I ate lunch, but I get to get out of this classroom.